Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into a tool that is absolutely revolutionizing how businesses handle their information. If you've ever stared at a screen full of numbers and felt completely, utterly overwhelmed, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're demystifying Microsoft Power BI, which is basically the ultimate tool for taking your data from absolute chaos to crystal clear business clarity.
So, picture this. We've all been there, right? It's 3:30 in the afternoon, your manager suddenly needs the latest sales and profit figures before they leave for the day, and your heart just sinks. Why? Because that data is scattered across three different, massively confusing spreadsheets on your hard drive. Historically, getting that data into a format a human being can actually read could take hours, if not days. But what if you could do it in minutes? Well, that's exactly the superpower we're going to unlock today.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with the data overload problem, move into the Power BI ecosystem, cover the essential elements, look at cleaning data, and finally wrap up with building your first dashboard. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the data overload problem. Look, in today's business world, whether you're a scrappy startup or a massive enterprise, literally everything is driven by data. But let's be totally honest, raw spreadsheets are incredibly intimidating if you don't have a background in analytics. And here is the absolute crucial point. Businesses are drowning in data, but it's only as good as your ability to interpret it. Having thousands of rows of customer metrics and sales figures is totally useless if you can't communicate what it all means. Power BI takes that intimidation factor completely away. It lets you connect to hundreds of sources and visually discover what actually matters. Moving right along to Section 2, the Power BI ecosystem.
Before we get into the weeds, we kind of need to understand what Power BI actually is. It isn't just one single application you download. Instead, it's an entire ecosystem made up of three main parts. First, you've got Power BI Desktop. This is your Windows app where the heavy lifting and report creation happens. Then, there's the Power BI Service, which is a web-based platform where you share and collaborate with your team. And finally, Power BI Mobile, the apps for your phones and tablets. These three elements work together perfectly so you can create, share, and consume insights seamlessly, no matter where you are. All right, Section 3, Essential Power BI Elements. To really master this software, we need to speak its language. So let's start at the very foundation, capacities. Capacities are the core resources used to host and deliver your content. Think of this as the computational muscle. By default, your work sits on a shared capacity, which just means you're sharing server resources with other Microsoft customers. But if you're a massive enterprise, you'll probably pay for dedicated capacity, which is muscle committed entirely to your organization. Next up, we have workspaces. The mental model to use here is staging areas. While you definitely have My Workspace for your own personal sandpit, standard workspaces are where the real teamwork happens. It's the collaborative hub where you and your colleagues, assuming you all have pro licenses, gather to stage, build, and manage your dashboards before you blast them out to the rest of the company. Inside those workspaces, you have datasets. A dataset is really just the collection of data you've connected to. It could be an Excel file on OneDrive or maybe a massive Salesforce database. But the absolute magic here is the idea of a shared dataset. When your team establishes a standardized, optimized dataset, it becomes the single source of truth for the whole company. Everyone is building reports based on the exact same accurate numbers. No more arguing over whose spreadsheet is right. Now, here is a distinction that trips up so many people. Reports versus dashboards. A report is super detailed. It can be multiple pages of charts, graphs, and maps, but it's built from just one underlying dataset. A dashboard, on the other hand, is a high-level, single-canvas view. You build a dashboard by pinning individual highlights or tiles from multiple different reports. So basically, use a report to dig deep into the details and use a dashboard to monitor your business's vital signs at a single glance. Let's jump into Section 4, cleaning and transforming data. Let's be real for a second. Out in the wild, data is messy. If you pull CRM data and try to mash it up with website metrics, they're not going to line up perfectly out of the box. Power BI's visualization tools work best with clean, columnar data. We often have these complex Excel sheets with merged headers that look amazing to a human, but they're an absolute nightmare for automated queries. Transforming data is just the necessary step of taking that messy real-world data and structuring it so the software can actually read it. To fix that mess, we use the Power Query Editor inside Power BI Desktop. Now, I know cleaning data sounds super technical, but it's often as simple as right-clicking a column and picking a data type like whole number or decimal. You can delete weird columns, fix errors, or combine rows, and you do it all without writing a single line of code. You're just shaping the data so your charts will behave perfectly later.
While you're doing this in Power BI Desktop, you'll be bouncing between three main views. The report view is your blank canvas for building the actual visual charts. The data view lets you peek at your underlying tables in a spreadsheet-like format to add new columns. And the model view, that gives you a really cool graphical map of how all your different data tables relate to each other. Once your data's clean and modeled here, you are ready for the fun part.
Which brings us to our final section, building your first dashboard.
Okay, this is the massive payoff we talked about. This is exactly how we solved that 5 p.m. panic attack. Here is your 4-step blueprint. Step 1, prepare your data. Make sure it's a flat table with clear headers, then upload it to the Power BI service. Step 2, build your report by literally dragging and dropping visuals onto the canvas. Step 3, pin the best visuals from that report onto a single dashboard canvas. And step 4, share a secure link to that dashboard with your manager. Boom, done. When you're in step 2, building that report, the editing view is your best friend. You've got panes for visualizations, filters, and fields right there. Your data columns magically show up as fields. You just pick the visual you want, say a map or a bar chart, and drag your fields right into it. You can even embed Power Apps directly into the report, which means you could click on a metric showing a struggling client and instantly trigger an email to their account manager right from your dashboard. That's a huge game changer. And here is the ultimate victory, the finished dashboard. Look at how incredibly clean and powerful this is. In a single glance, a manager can see the total leads sitting at 378, actual revenue topping $121 million, and a super clear breakdown of estimated revenue. We took scattered, chaotic spreadsheets that would have taken hours to compile and turned them into this pristine, interactive, single source of truth. So if you take away just one thing from our time together today, let it be this. This data is only as good as your ability to interpret and communicate its meaning. Power BI is not just a digital filing cabinet for numbers. It's a dynamic tool built to unlock the stories hidden inside those numbers, so your entire team can make faster, smarter decisions. Which leaves us with one pretty big question. Are you ready to transform your chaotic spreadsheets into a clear, single source of truth? The tools are literally right there, waiting for you in the Power BI ecosystem. So dive in, start cleaning your data, and build that first dashboard. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this gives you the confidence to turn your data chaos into absolute clarity. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll catch you on the next one.